Zennie.
Live
Just
with.
gotta make sure this connection is good enough.
Uh-oh. Yeah, we are
Wait a
live
minute.
with. Okay.
Just want to
Is
make
that
sure this
working?
connection is good. Yeah, I think I pushed the iPad back a little bit. Maybe it's closer to the connection
Okay.
because there are people downstairs and I'm at home. Okay, let's try it like this and see.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Yeah, you're all good. I'll give you 2 thumbs up.
Okay.
At the risk of imitating our president's thumb up or whatever, but don't.
Our
Like,
president. Okay.
yeah,
Whatever you say. People voted for him. Yeah. Okay.
Congresswoman Barbara Lee, welcome.
Glad to be with you.
Great to be with you too. And I have one question, first of all, out of respect for the fact that you were been a congresswoman for so long. What, in your opinion, is going on in Washington?
Well, we're seeing the beginning of the end of our democracy. And I was there 27 years, and the first 4 years of Donald Trump, I was there, and I saw how Steve Miller, Gorsuch, and Steve Bannon talked about dismantling the administrative state. Then they came up with Project 2025. We held them back. I was on the Appropriations Committee, and the amendments to, like defund the Department of Education, ban the pride flag, all of everything that's happening now, we saw early on and we just stopped it. Now it's all the guardrails are down. And this is the beginning of the end, and it's the beginning of the establishment of dictatorship. And people voted for that. And now we've got to make sure that the most vulnerable don't, bear the brunt of what people voted for, and that's for a dictatorship and to dismantle our democracy, and people voted for that, and we have to really be clear about. He was clear. He said he was going to do this, and he's doing it. And so we
Wow.
have to, those of us who believe what he is doing is wrong and is the beginning of the end, need to push back, fight back, and engage in elections so that we will elect a Democratic Congress in 2 years and and he's already talking about a third term, which is how strong leaders, strong men do in countries that are dictatorships. And so we have to understand the 30s, understand the context in which this administration is operating under.
And hey, also, I want to say, as mayor, you really have the opportunity to still fight the fight, don't you? I mean, let's talk about both, if we can put that together. When I say that, because I think of when Libby was mayor, she did a great job. It was Trump's administration. She did a great job of basically saying, "Oh, no, you're not going to do this here." Okay, sounds like if you won, you would be basically in the same position, huh?
Yeah, and let me tell you, as mayor, we have to steady the ship. I have to steady the ship, deal with the budget crisis, public safety, housing, blight, good governance, economic development, and jobs. So we have to be forceful in how we deliver core services to the residents at the same time with an administration that's trying to dismantle everything, going after cities that are sanctuary cities and sanctuary states. We have to be ready to make sure that this administration understands they can't divide us and conquer us, because that's their playbook. They're going to try to divide black and brown people, black, brown, and white people, different communities, and they're going to try to get us fighting against each other for the crumbs that are left in Washington, D.C. And so as mayor, I have to push back on that, say no to ICE, tell the police department, you all cannot cooperate with these tyrants that are coming in. Right now, children, families are traumatized, and we can't let that happen. So it's a balancing act, and it's a challenge, but with the support of people in the city, we can do this together. And so we have to have a mayor who knows this playbook, who knows how to resist, but who knows how to govern and lead a city also.
What have you seen on the campaign trail? From what are people saying to you? I mean, I know I have some, but I mean, ideas and things we may haven't heard. What have you seen on the campaign trail now? As you've been on it for a while.
Well, of course, the top issues everywhere in the city: public safety, housing, blight, our unsheltered population, good governance, economic development, and jobs. Everyone is singing the same song, different tunes. But also, another part of this is everyone wants to do something, Zennie. Everywhere I go, they say, we're so down. This administration in Washington, D.C. has terrified us. We have a city that we've had turbulence, and they're saying to me, can't we do something? And so I have seen the spirit of volunteerism. People are saying, why don't you give us a call to action so we can do something an hour a week, help with children, help in our neighborhoods. So I'm really excited. I want to win this thing because I want to engage people in working in our neighborhoods, people who have time, people who want to help. And that's a real spirit of Oakland that has always been here, but for some reason it's been suppressed. And now everywhere I go in the campaign is let's do something together. So it's exciting, even with the challenges. People see the opportunities and they want to be engaged. And that's really wonderful. That's the beauty of Oakland.
Yeah. Hey, why do you think it's been suppressed in that way? I 100% agree with you. I mean, love to hear your take on that.
Well, you've had, dysfunction. You have a hybrid form of government. It's not a strong mayor form of government. People didn't know that till I started talking about it. We have a sort of a strong administrative form of government. And so people think we have a strong mayor form of government. The mayor appoints the police chief and appoints the city administrator. Doesn't even have a vote on the city council. Breaks the tie, but the mayor is responsible for leading also as the executor. But a lot of people, and what Zennie I want to do is, this is structural, which will take a while to do, but put together a charter review commission. So people can come to the charter committee. There are many aspects that need to be looked at. But do we want in Oakland a strong mayor form of government where the buck stops with the mayor? Or do we want a strong city administrator form of government like Phoenix and other cities that have professionally run cities? And I don't want to say which one because I would not want to weigh in until people, the residents, weighed in and make a decision which way they want their governing body to be formed in Oakland. But right now, this hybrid form of government is not working. That's why people get the runaround. First of all, who's accountable? Why aren't we transparent about our contracts? Why don't we have something online? Well, is it the mayor's job or is it the city administrator's job? People don't know. And so I say I'm going to make it the strongest mayor form of government within the charter because I'm going to write my own job description. And until we get some decisions by the public, then I'm going to have to do everything I can do to move the city forward.
So it sounds like, and I asked Lauren the same questions I was asking you, are you going to keep the current city administrative officer or make a change immediately? What say you about that?
Listen, I've been focused on this election. And so I don't want any more instability in the city. We need to steady the ship.
Thank you.
But I certainly,
Yeah.
okay, I
We've had a lot
certainly
of
will
it.
make hard decisions about who's performing and who isn't. And within what I believe is the best for the city, I will engage in. But right now, well, we got till 8 o'clock tonight, so I'm trying to make sure I get every vote in. But again, we have to have change, yes, but we have to have some stability, and that's a balancing act, and it has to be executed with a lot of input, I think, and I need a expert, city-oriented team of people to help. If I were mayor, to navigate moving forward.
Is that like kind of a kitchen cabinet or something? How do you see that?
Yeah, and I do, because the city administrator meets with the department heads, right? Well,
Yeah.
I want a cabinet meeting with the department heads, with the city administrator. Now, that's not really a function of the mayor, but I'm gonna make sure the charter allows me to meet with every department head together with the city manager. So because there's so many gaps in it, and I know how to close gaps. I had a business for 11 years. I know how to manage, and I know where we need to see efficiencies in city governance, delivery of core services, their duplication of services. Sometimes people don't know which department is responsible for what. Two departments doing the same thing, not communicating. That's something I'm really good at. And so I intend to have a cabinet meeting with the department heads periodically, maybe every 2 weeks, with the city administrator.
Well, actually, no, the charter doesn't specifically prohibit that idea. So I think you could do it, as is. I was trying to go through my mind and remember when Russo got Jerry and together. Yeah, I know it's been done before, but not as a common standard practice. So just on the campaign trail, when you think about the campaign, what is the first encounter that stands out to you the most, person or thing or something that happened?
These young people, let me tell you, They know me. I mean, they know me. It is amazing. 18 to 44-year-olds, they've been following me. They've been voting for me. They know I've been on it in terms of their future, and climate change and climate justice and environmental injustice is really top of mind for these young people and their future. They can't even envision purchasing a house or a home. And so, and I have so many young people in this campaign. It really is intergenerational, led by a lot of young people. Maximus, for example, who's the elected school board member on the board of the school board. He was elected, and he's representing the thousands of young people in school. He hung out with myself and Congresswoman Waters on Saturday. And this young man is 17 years old. He's brilliant. He's
Wow.
already a leader. And so this is like, wow. I have a lot of hope. I have so many young people. I mean, you look at Adante Porter. He was my intern and staff member. Justin Jones, one of the Tennessee Three in Tennessee, who was
Yeah.
expelled from the Tennessee Assembly. He was an intern. Latifah Simon, she
Yep.
was my student. I taught a class at Mills. I mean, I have so many of these brilliant young people around me who have gone on, and just mentoring them and having them with me all my life, actually, is just remarkable. And so they all have come through and helping me on this campaign.
This feels more like a homecoming. Huh. It feels that.
Well, it's a way to bring people together.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm with them. I mean, homecoming. Yeah, I'm in DC 3 days, 4 days a week. Back here three
Huh.
days. I mean, 27 years. I was on United Airlines or Alaska every single week. There may
Yeah.
have been 6 weeks, weekends a year that I didn't come home. So it's not like I ever left. It's just
Right.
I was doing my job in Washington. I come here and do my job in Oakland.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I don't mean it like that, but like you're at the helm, and it's it's like Libby all over because she knew so many people, so it was a homecoming from that way, even though she was in town, right?
Yeah, it's like my little army
Yeah,
of people that I have
exactly. That's
mentored.
what. Yeah,
My mentees now are soaring. Yeah,
that's amazing. Hey,
yeah.
let's talk about. Um, I had lunch with a friend of mine. You may know him. I think Kofi Bonner,
Yeah.
and yeah, Kofi and I go all the way back to Cal grad school, September 9th, 1987.
Yeah.
And no, 85, excuse me, 85, 85. Worcester Hall computer room. That's when I met Kofi. Anyway, we had lunch last year, just the day before the NFL draft in Detroit. He's CEO of Bedrock. Bedrock is the organization that owns all of the property that Dan Gilbert, the owner of, among other things, the Cavaliers and Rocket Mortgage owns, right? And so he was talking about a philosophy that Gilbert had, because last time I had been in Detroit before that was 2006 Super Bowl, and Detroit was a mess.
Oh
Not
yeah.
this
Oh yeah.
time.
I need to try. I know Kofi well, and I know Detroit well.
Yeah, not this time.
No.
So I asked him, and Kofi said that Gilbert's idea was having 20 or so different projects going off, opening at the same time. NFL draft over here, 60-story building over there, all in the same year. And my thought is, what about an approach like that? Because we need something to really get us going.
Mhm.
But what do you think about an approach like that, or what's your idea for really jump starting us again? Because morale is super low, among other
Yeah.
things. You know.
Yeah, and I want to, and Kofi, he's my Ghanaian brother, and I
Okay.
love
Yeah.
Kofi.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's done so much good work. I want to bring in the best minds and the best people, like Kofi, former city manager Robert Bob. I've talked to him, people who know Oakland and who have had the experience. I want to establish in the mayor's office an office of public-private partnership. I'm not sure what I want to call it, maybe Office of Innovation, but to bring a team of people to do just what you just said. Come up with how within a budget crisis do we do this? We have to attract philanthropy. We have to attract private investment. We have to do all of this at once, but we have to get the public safety piece together. Correct. I mean, where we see where people feel safe and where the city and people understand we're working hard to make it a safe and clean city. And so that's the connector to everything that we have to do. And believe you me, I will work to implement Measure NN, which requires, the voters pass 700 police officers, increase our strategies for crime prevention through public safety, and shore up and have a more robust mental health intervention. Police officers don't need to respond to mental health crisis. So we have, so we have to have a comprehensive public safety plan. But I intend to do that at the same time as mayor, bring in new exciting ideas, try to get more people engaged in our neighborhoods, having something happening in every neighborhood, every council district in the city, not just downtown, but all over the city. And so we have creative people here, we have brilliant people, and Kofi is right. And I see how Detroit has just grown. We have to be careful that no more gentrification occurs, because I see what has happened in Detroit now in
Right.
terms of the cost of living gentrification, but the strategies that were used with the caveat that we're going to want to keep people who are left here here. So we have to make sure that that's addressed very
That's a
carefully.
great point, Congresswoman, because the problem in Detroit is, the average income downtown is 33,000. So they're building all these expensive places, and yet that's the average income. They haven't addressed that. And so now and then on top of that, some of the developers don't want to pay any property tax. All right. So it's not easy go. I mean, you're absolutely right, in my opinion.
But you know what? We have to negotiate. Okay. We
Great
have to
point.
make sure Oakland has a seat at the table, and I'm gonna fight for Oakland. And I think, we have not been strategic in our negotiations. And I believe if you're gonna, and we want business, we want private sector money here, we want we want alliances, but we want it to be good corporate citizens who are going to invest in Oakland and be part of the community. And I think we can do that. It's a win-win-win. I mean, I was the one who negotiated the dredging for the Port of Oakland, dredging to 50 feet. And let me tell you, it never would have happened. And I called everybody, the port, ILWU, the environmental community, the business community, our activists together, and we fought it out. And we ended up dredging to 50 feet so the larger ships could come in, taking the dredged mud up to Sonoma Baylands, created wetlands up there. And so I had this bottle of mud still in my office from the dredging of the 50 feet. So,
Right.
so we have to
Remember that.
do it in a way that is a win-win-win for everybody. And I have a lot of experience, Zennie, in doing that. And that's one of the pluses of my winning this election.
Your appearance has caused an explosion of some comments. Do you mind if I read some of them? I think questions. There's Alicia. We used to have Afrotech and travel conferences in Oakland. We need to embrace attracting business to Oakland, she says.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And,
I want to do that.
Yeah, and others more along this lines of same. Everybody saying good morning and so on.
Tell everybody, hey.
What the first 100 days of your tenure as Oakland mayor, what do you envision seeing happen? Well, what I mean by that is, I know not so much, physically outside, but even inside the office, and what you're doing and what you're going to prioritize over the first 100 days.
Yeah, and go to my website, BarbaraLee4OaklandMayor.com, because we have the first 100 days of what I want to do. But I just briefly, public safety. I
want me to go there now?
Sure.
I'll go there.
Go there. Go there now.
Sure.
Public safety. I want to meet with the police chief, and I want to go through Measure NN. Okay, how do we get to 700 police officers? How do we free up police officers how do we civilianize some of these jobs where police officers are doing administrative work, where we could use technology so we could free up police officers? How do we get more investment into crime prevention, into ceasefire and macros? Public safety is day one. And also, Senator Jesse Arreguín endorsed me. He's chair of the Public Safety Committee in Sacramento. We have talked about a regional public safety strategy. And so I want to work with Senator Arreguín and Supervisor Nate Miley to strengthen a public safety, regional approach to public safety. Tom Bates, when I was you may remember in the legislature with Tom Bates.
Yeah, I love Tom.
And I had the public safety corridor, and it was working. We have sheriffs, DAs, activists, elected officials, all working together, all the way from Brentwood all the way to Castro Valley. So we need to do that. So that's top of mind, okay? Because we have got to, and bringing some of these police officers to our community, because there's a reluctance naturally for the community to feel good about the police force because they're slow response time, 4 hours sometimes, 3 hours. Why is that? Because we
Man,
don't
I
have
got your
enough
priorities
police.
right here.
Yep, there
First
they
100
are.
days plan. There, yeah.
Yep,
I would have got it faster, but hey, I got it. So here we.
you
In
got
fact,
it.
folks, here
Okay.
it is. Let
Yeah.
me shift gears. One, stop that screen, and then sh- share this screen because actually it popped out into another screen. It's a PDF. It's all right, PDF. So yeah, you can you go to her website.
Okay.
Just go to priorities, and there's Barbara's 100 plan for the plan for the first 100 days, and it
Yeah.
does say you have bring the police department, focus on securing Oakland's fair share of money from Alameda County to
Yeah,
address a
Alameda
homeless
County, let me
crisis.
tell you about that.
Let's talk
Our
about that.
unsheltered,
Let's
okay,
talk about that.
affordable, yeah, yeah, yeah. Alameda County, okay, now, our partnership with Alameda County has not been as strong as it should be. Uh, Alameda County is responsible for a heck of a lot in terms of services for our unsheltered population, some housing. They won the litigation, Measure W, which was passed several years ago. Hundreds of millions of dollars are going to be coming into the county. Well, I want Oakland's fair share for affordable housing and deeply affordable housing. And so they probably in the afternoon after I call the police department, I'm gonna call up the county and say, when do we meet to talk about Oakland's share of Measure W money? We have a housing crisis. We have a crisis of unsheltered populations. We need more affordable and deeply affordable housing. So many people who are unsheltered are working. Okay,
Yes,
they
ma'am.
are working. They're the working poor. So we need deeply affordable housing. And so that's in the afternoon. Morning, public safety, afternoon, housing.
Now, I want to, you mentioned also the county. What about? I want to get your take on the county because my good friend Nate Miley spearheaded what I called the war between the city and the county. We're out of the sport, and we're going to do this. Do you think there's any way we?
Wait a minute, Zenny, I think you're frozen. I can't hear you.
Or
Wait a
that?
minute. Okay, okay. Do we think what now?
Oh, that there's any way we can get back into the sports game on a major level, like NFL back here, NBA back here, and, that sort of thing. Nothing against the Warriors,
Well,
but
certainly that's a
uh,
heavy
I,
lift.
I just hate the fact they're in San
Zenny,
Francisco.
I would like to, but it's a heavy lift. But we have sports teams now who are coming in. Look at Roots, for example. Look at the
Mhm.
Ballers. So yes, but we have to be realistic, and we have to understand what happened with the A's and the Raiders. I mean, I think maybe the Raiders owe us still some money here in the city. uh,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So we have to look at this, but I'm certainly a sports fan. I mean, I was a cheerleader in high school. I mean, so I love sports. I attend sporting events. I actually pitched the first ball at an A's game a couple of years ago. I wear my Oakland A's number 43
oh, there you go.
t-shirt.
There
Yes, Lord.
you
So
go.
yeah, if there's any way we can do it, I would do it. But that's a heavy lift, and we need to keep that in mind and work for it, knowing that the challenges are going to be great.
Yeah, I only asked because sports tour at the time we are getting rid of the teams. Sports tourism became this big thing. It's
Yeah.
a bigger thing, and um, I'm on my
Oh,
20 year.
it's a big deal. And again, I don't know the negotiations. I know from where I was what the negotiations look like, and I couldn't get directly involved in the negotiations. I was out of the authority of what I could do, but I certainly think that the team, especially they, should have compensated us for leaving and what all took place that during that period. But we have to move forward, and I want this Coliseum deal to work. I hope it does. I know East Oakland very well, and we need that to be an economic hub for people, a tourist hub. We need restaurants, hotels. We need traffic. We need people coming to Oakland, and the Coliseum is a perfect venue for that. And so I'm going to do everything I can do as mayor to create whatever we can create. Hopefully, this deal goes through. It's still at the county level. I'm cautiously optimistic, but we'll have to see what's happening. I never would have attached it to the city budget. I would never have pegged it with the budget.
Well,
But
Congresswoman,
they've decoupled it. Thank goodness.
well, maybe you can call them and tell the county attorneys to stop bringing up stupid stuff like, well, The school board's got an environmental issue. If you're taking this with the A's, they're still talking with the A's, not AAFPG.
Yeah, they
Okay?
want some. I remember talking to some about this. The whole harmless provisions in the contract had not been negotiated yet to everyone's satisfaction. Yeah,
I just wish they lay out a timetable and some days, and then do it within that framework. And if they, and then figure out eliminating it and not wasting time. That's
yeah,
to me.
yeah,
You want an earful? Call me.
yeah. Okay, okay, Zennie.
Here's the thing. Let's close out.
Okay.
Let's close
Okay.
out. Talk about you're running for Oakland, and you made your case to close us out because I don't want you people mad at me.
I'd never get mad at you, Zennie. And
Thank
close
you.
us out. Look, I just hope everybody gets to oppose and vote for Barbara Lee for mayor. I hope that the trust that you placed in me over the years, what I've delivered for Oakland, core services, constituent casework, billions of dollars, understanding our neighborhoods, our police department, our crime prevention efforts, our young people. My record, hopefully, you know by now, and know that I will govern accordingly, and that I brought together different points, different sectors in our community, the Oakland Chamber of Commerce, our labor unions, pro-recall people who oppose the recall, landlords, tenants. My campaign is an example of how I want to govern, and that's with every voice and every person with a voice and a viewpoint, every neighborhood at the table. And hopefully you'll vote for me. I want to be your mayor, and
Oh,
I
the
love
fact you're
this city,
bringing
love
energy.
life in Oakland.
You're bringing
Okay.
energy. I love it. We need
Well, we gotta
that
have energy. I
enthusiasm.
love life.
Yeah.
Remember, Zennie, our motto is love life. I mean,
Yes,
we love
ma'am.
life in
It is.
Oakland, so let's
Yes,
do
ma'am.
that. Even though we got all these problems and challenges, we've had them before, and this ain't
Right.
nothing new. So we gotta do that.
Got it.
Fight together, solve our problems, move forward, and it's gonna
I'll tell you
take
what.
time, but it's gonna take all of us. So thank you.
Hey, stick around, Barbara. Don't move a muscle. I got you. Everybody, thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting, folks. Congresswoman, again, thanks a lot. Don't be a stranger. That ends this stream. Congresswoman, you don't have to move a muscle. I got